The process of getting dry cocoa beans to be transported to the market for sale goes through varieties of stages. Welcome to the Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Enyunam. Get interactive, share your questions and views with us through our social media platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. This week, we are all the way in the Western region, precisely in Amenfi West, to chit-chat with the overall National Best 2022 female farmer, to discuss about her livestock and crop farming, the journey and how far she's come. But before we go to meet Mama and talk to her, I am going to throw some light, put a spotlight on cocoa beans. This very one I'm talking about, the dry cocoa beans. How do you come by it after harvesting the fresh one from the farm in Ghana? When I come back, I'll be engaging Mr. Jima. He's an agric officer here in Amenfi West to educate the two of us. Perhaps you are aspiring to become a cocoa farmer, so you know what to do when you are from this stage to this stage. I'll be right back after this. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying. Gone by was a video, a profile highlighting dry cocoa beans right here in Ghana. Mr. Jima, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.
Now, when we say cocoa beans, how do we come by cocoa beans?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Cocoa beans, as you see them over here, they don't just come by itself over there.
Okay.
So what you normally do is you need to go to the farm.
Okay.
But how do you get the cocoa from the farm? You need to start from the scratch. Okay, let me use this as an example. So this is the bean, the raw bean.
Okay.
So you nest this bean in a polythene bag or whatever. Then about 6 months, you take them to the farm. You cultivate. With all agricultural practices, the very good ones, maybe 3 years, it starts bearing the fruits. Now, when the fruit starts coming, it gets matured, it gets ripe, like this one that I have cracked.
Okay.
Now, you harvest them in the farm, you gather them at a place. Okay. Then, when it is time, if it is plenty that you cannot do it alone, you invite friends or family members, then you go and extract the beans from the cocoa pot, as I have done. Okay. So, you crack open it, then you use the colors this way. Okay. Now, this is
remove the beans from the pot.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Right. So when you harvest the fresh cocoa from the trees, and then you break it open and remove the fresh beans, how long do you keep it for in the farm before even moving it to the bed? Okay.
As you see, you see the color of this thing.
Yes.
Is a bit different from what we have on the mat.
Yes.
So after extracting it, you need to ferment it from 5 to 7 days in the farm.
Right.
Now, in the farm, you cut this thing, plantain leaves. Then
you cover it.
You spread it.
Okay.
You put the beans on them. And then after that, you cover it. Okay. From 7 days, you bring it from the farm to where we are having it over here.
Okay. Yeah. So when you move it to the bed, how long does it take for me to see these dry beans?
Okay. Depending on how frequently you visit the beans. Okay. And then depending on the sun. Now, during the rainy season, sometimes it could take about 2 weeks. Okay. But a period like this, from 7 days, some get dried within 5 to 7 days, depending on how frequent you visit it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, is this the only way to dry your beans? Do we have modern ways of drying the beans as well?
In Ghana here and in my district, this is the only way.
Okay.
That we do that.
All right. So after 7 days, that's if you have direct sun for the next 7 days. If it's fully dried, what do I do to my beans nest?
Okay. So you see there's a jute sack here.
Yes. Yeah. This very sack?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So when it gets dried, you just pick your sack. Now, you put the beans into the sack.
Okay, you fill the sack with the beans?
Yes, please.
Okay, okay. So what is the size of the sack?
per bag, it is 62.5 kilograms.
So each bag
yes
is 62.5
kilograms.
Okay. What's the present price? What is it being sold?
It is 800 cedis.
800 cedis?
Yes.
In the market now?
Yes.
Okay. When I buy the beans, how long can I keep it in a jute sack for?
Now, from the farm, then we leave it to the buyers.
Okay.
So, whatever they do over there, normally our concern comes down.
Okay.
But they don't normally keep it for long.
Okay.
Maybe 2 weeks, then they they transport it to the harbor or whatever. They will continue, or they will further continue with it.
Okay. What are some of the value added products that we get from cocoa beans?
Cocoa beans, the value added product that we all know. We
Apart
have
from
our
chocolates. Yes.
Then there's fun nice products called it's also chocolate. We have cocoa butter and fun choco, in fact a whole lot.
Okay.
So
okay. Now I want to know about the pod itself.
Okay.
After you've removed the beans from the pod, what happens to the pod and even the lining in the pod? What becomes of it?
Okay. Thank you very much. You see this pod here, it is fresh for now.
Yes.
What we normally do is, after extracting the beans from it, we leave them in the farm.
Okay.
Where we dry them. Now it becomes dried, so the color will change.
Right.
So this thing, one is used for fertilizer.
The pod?
Yes.
The dry pod?
The dry pod is used as a fertilizer. Okay. That is the organic fertilizer, purely organic. And then also, we use it in making soup. Okay. So in the process of making the soup, you need to burn the pots. Then you take the ashes from the farm, you bring it to the house, and then you continue with the processing of the soup.
Okay.
Locally called abonche. Amonche.
Locally called Amonchi. You're still watching The Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Enyonam, and standing next to me is Mr. Jima. He's an agric officer here in Amenfi West. He takes care of a lot of farmers, and he's telling us about the process of getting your fresh cocoa beans from the pod, how to keep it in the farm before moving it to the house, and keep them on the bed. I also want to find out about the bed. When you spread it on the bed, do you leave it for the next 7 days, or you move it every day and bring it back? Okay.
What we normally do is, in the evening, you need to gather them, then cover it.
Right.
If you don't do that, you leave it at the mercy of the weather.
Okay.
It might rain. And other times, we have predators.
Yes.
But I'm talking of human beings.
Yes.
Thieves can also come and steal them.
Okay.
So you cover them so that in case somebody comes there, at least you hear a sound. Then quickly.
You can hear the person and then come after the person. Okay. So aside me drying my cocoa beans to get the dry ones to go and sell, do we also sell the fresh ones?
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
Yes, it's real.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, the award winner herself, she'll be joining me to tell me more about what she goes through day to day to make sure her beans is well kept, is watched, taken care of, and finally dry for her to move it to the market. I'll be right back after this break. Stay tuned. Thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, you're watching The Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Enyonam. Today, or this week, we are all the way in the western region, precisely Amenfi West, and we are putting a spotlight on drying cocoa beans before moving it to the market to go and sell. If you do not go through the right process, you won't get the correct beans and get the correct price. So standing next to me, I mentioned to you earlier that I'll be speaking, or she'll be joining me, the overall National Woman Best Farmer 2022. Ya Ajele, congratulations. Mema aiko.
Yeah. Mema wakwaba.
Me da say. Enti ya bon komo no. officer na me ni nkomo no o kan say pacho pedade ma me ahoma no say ye aha o kan say enum wei enum na mudinya ade ye krami ena mutumi di ma momwa ena mutumi di ye fertilizer nti ubetimi a kire emu kakra okay
yo da was mama ko jasemi enkasa
okay
na ade na mekita no eye kokoo no mu ahoma
okay
ahoma kokoo no beans na tietua ho nti yantumu kwa ekuafo ene bibia ye mfaso
right
nti na me pesa aban no oboye
okay
ade we yeguai a mo hwe no eni kokoo no wabo wi a na homa ewom ni ye wi a yantumu
okay
yandi ye niskanti bibia ye pemfaso
okay
enti kokoo na homa ne guo no yetumi yam e de ma empreko
okay
that is me yetumi hye e de ye do e de ye samana kokoo na homa ne guo no ye de ne ma bebre yetumi de ye fertilizer
okay
organic fertilizer
bebre all right
ekuafo
okay so Madam Ya Ajele just explain what goes through to get this particular product you have here. It can be used as a feed for the pigs. It can also be used for fertilizer. It can also be used for processing soap, the soap we use to bath in the house. Now she's saying that before you remove the seeds, you see the beans from the cocoa pod, it is hanging on some thread kind of. It looks like a thread. So when they remove the beans, this thread is left and it's not thrown away. If you're a cocoa farmer and you don't have this idea, Auntie Ajele is helping you to know today that after you harvest or you remove your beans, do not throw this thread away. You would have to dry it and then you can use this to feed your livestock and also use it for your fertilizer. Auntie Ajele, enti waste ano and also no dry no be and that be do was saying.
Oh, be 7 days now.
Okay.
Me ko yiba 7 days now.
Okay.
Bra me tu kokoo na eba no.
Now we hear
na
also.
E de go kentem. Timba na maso ade aba.
Okay. So I was asking her how many days the lining or the thread would also be dried for. And she says for 7 days. And in part after 7 days, you know, one amudi machine yama and answer moya ni saying.
You ni scanty ade ansa na esi.
Hey. Ejuma din pa.
Obana ba bere wa me de waduro si a obesu yama me so mesi.
Okay. Okay. So after the 7 days, they don't have a modern way of, grinding it into powder. So she uses her hand, manpower, to actually pound it and then get the feed for the livestock and, of course, get the rest for the soap processing and the fertilizer. What you were saying?
Me wura mu de na acha na me nya ne papa. Na me ba ye de 17 years in me wura mu.
17 years. It's been 17 years since Madam Ajele has been in farming. And I'm also here den.
Me pa cha me ye cocoa.
Cocoa farm.
Me ye bode banchi,
plantain, cassava, cocoyam, okra,
ntosi bibia me ye.
Auntie Ajele has everything.
Yes.
So when you come here, you should see the fufu she pound for my boys. It wasn't easy. Okay. So but then ejume bia eye no eso fa so nti na obi atene mo no. Ekriayo jume enya asem ketwa. 17 years ni awaye. Ubakasa aboa.
Aboa me pa.
Ekwan be so sa.
Aboa me wo masetena me mahwe ne me dansi ne masetena me kromko eyi ko ne ade nyinara koko ya na boa me
eyi nyina aboa
ni nyina kan bi esa me kan nyina na aba na boa me nse e ma ye bre
okay
e ma ye bre pa
ya ye tan ka se e ba na ekuayo a emema no omo ho eto omo agric officer say emema no fra no mu di America na ema no mu fra so mo twetwe omo na ase o how ben sana apart from infaso wanya or how nkitinkiti bent na ya wuta fam as a woman farmer
na me fam no se ba de o de ba e ba on te se be ma
okay
enso eduru mire bia e ma ye fa program mu pa ye nya loan mfa anya adwuma no ba kono no
right
aban mo aye mfa anya adwuma no nti adwuma no ye ngankasa efisa wo ye ba nti wo mu ni me se wo de bibiri okra wo ntimi nya den enye
okay
enso ye man se ye kura asefo man de ye nga ye ward ye ni me se koko ene niama na keka kan ho enye ka adwuma bi akwakoye mana boka
okay
so nti sa aban no so yen asen pa anka dia na bebu oguana
okay okay
aban no so yen asen
right okay so you know this debate about the challenges women have when it comes to farming. I was trying to find out her take on if they have equal opportunities just like the men and the women who are into farming. But she mentioned that they need access to loan, they need a couple of other things, you know, to help them boost what they are already doing. And she mentioned cocoa planting, okra, cocoyam, pigs, and other things that she is into. It's been 17 years she has been doing this. Of course, she's mentioned some benefit like building her own house, money to take care of her kids through school, and many other benefits. But of course, it comes with challenges as well. Lastly, near Chatono, Bebrena kase kokoi, and fast one so. But who can cover 70 acres? I am our
na mfaso ni so metiti be wi a meji mu fertilizer na ho nkoro ne bai ni nuro no kura na na bo de atwa meti enuro no ne bo din enti me wi a metena se me wo krata be me ada wo ma ya na okyerekere
okay
wo be wi afi na wo be wi no na edi da me director anso ada wo ma obo mo ni me de bebre hu
okay okay
na me nim no na wa kyerem
okay all right
nti ema ye be wi no na sika no na kaketi wa bi ntu fa anya hwe
oh I see
nti ma ye bere wura mu papa chopon ni kura ho asem ye din ye to ye bribia wa ha enyi ha
auntie Ajele
bugala mi se ni nti ntu mi to hwe
oh okay right so you just mentioned
so ya metiwe mento me ni mobile ubisa mobile me ni bi
oh
so that our friends in bobo gan wa chole ni ball na kan
yeah
no na ka ma come here e bi na odi abesiwe ensuo to mpirinu afon na adu ye nyina yetumi da esum be ye bosome
oh
enti ade ye hia pa ensuo light
okay
ensuo ne light ne de
right
mon kan kire o mampanyin mo na mo ka se ebem ka kire o mampanyin se kuro bi e friend konko de o Ghana kuro kitiwa wo yi no ngetuma ba be yi pen pa wo mu sei aye nga bu aku adwuma wo ba ye nso wa wani tu ahwe koko a wo na mu ba ni koko no to wo wade kwa aburuchiru kongo ne firi
okay
enti ka je so mo ye
like Ajele has okay okay
enya nsuo no ye no fe nsuo ese me ko se bibiro kra wo no nkramofo bi na be ye pipe bi si yen ha ensu to bebrebe a ukomi a e aforo
ene ye be ka wasem na galam say ne
galam say ne so aban ye no ho hwe nyi nti wo mutu ya ga kongo ha de yempe
okay
kongo ha de wo ba ye wa hu yempe galam say ye na aforo ye de ye mu kunuma ntosi meko enya ho mfaso
okay
Madam Patricia Dauruma enya ho mfaso pa
okay all right okay so in wrapping up our interview Madam Ajele was mentioning lack of social amenities such as light, electricity, power, and also access to potable drinking water. Farmers in this community are suffering. They don't have access to potable drinking water. They don't have access to electricity. She says at times for a whole month, they have to sleep in the dark, which is pretty bad. How can our overall national best woman farmer be going through such? It's nothing to be proud of. If government want the youth to be attracted to farming, these people need to be taken care of well, so we can be inspired, motivated, encouraged to actually venture into farming. So we'll wrap up here. We'll be moving to the farm and look at other things she's involved in. But today, I'm sure you've learned a lot about cocoa beans drying. Of course, some of the other benefits you get from the pod and also the thread that you find in the beans that you can use for fertilizer, you can use for feeding your livestock, and also for processing soap. My name is Anyanam. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. If you have any questions, just get interactive on our social media platform. Thank you.